Hello and welcome to this runner's circuit. I recommend repeating this circuit twice. You're going to need two pieces of equipment, a yoga block or two books, and a strong firm strap, or I am using a dog lead to substitute. We're going to start off with sciatic nerve mobility with the focus of movement through the ankle joint. You're going to be doing 10 of these. You want a straight leg and have your leg as low or as high away from the ground as suits you. So a gentle stretch through the back of the hamstring calf. And then focus on moving through the ankle joint as you point the foot towards the sky and pull the foot down towards your body. Try and get all the movement through the ankle joint and just look at your foot and notice if your toes are trying to compensate. I.e., when you pull the foot down, do all the toes pull towards you, and can you see all the tendons pop up in your foot? I want to see if you can keep your foot relatively relaxed as you move the ankle joint. Then straighten out both legs. Place your left hand on your hip, connect your rib cage down to the ground, and check that your head is neutral. We're going to bring the knee into the chest, the right knee, open the right thigh out to the side, flex the foot, push out through the heel to the end of the mat, and then rotate the leg so the kneecap and the toes point to the sky. You're going to repeat this 5 times. So knee to chest, open the thigh out to the side, make sure the left hip doesn't lift, press out through the heel, rotate the entire leg so toes and knee point up. Bringing awareness to your hip joint and waking up the core muscles that support your pelvis and your torso as your leg moves. The third movement in this and last one in this little sequence, place a book or a yoga block on your foot. I want you to see if you can relax the toes of your foot into the block. Your other knee is bent up to give you a bit more stability. And you're super simply going to bend at the knee and the hip, keeping the block balancing on your foot. And then you're going to straighten at the knee and the hip. And this exercise helps with proprioception around your foot and foot control. I find the right side very easy. You will see in a second that I find the left side quite difficult. So 5 repetitions of this, technically a leg press. Then take the block off and we're going to repeat the same 3 exercises on the left leg. So pop your strap around your foot just below the ball of your foot because we want to get all the movement from the ankle. Straighten out the leg, the other knee's bent. And then have a look at that foot. Point the foot up. As you pull the foot down, can you keep the toes and the tendons around your foot quite relaxed as you bend the foot towards you? So trying to get all that movement from the ankle and using your strap or band to help. A good strong, sturdy one is best. You're going for 10 of these. When you get to the end, you can always use a strap to pull a little bit more to get the stretch into the back of the calf. And pop that strap off, straighten both legs out, float your hands over your right hip. You want your right hip to stay grounded down onto the mat. You're going to bring the left knee into your chest, open it out to the side, push out through the heel, and then rotate the leg so the toes and the kneecap points up to the sky. Push out through the heel, you are rotated out, and then you're going to rotate the whole thigh bone in. You're not going to hold down your right hip. You're just going to have your fingers there to be aware of it. Make sure it doesn't lift. If it does, make the movement smaller. And then we're going to take a hold of the block, bend both knees up. This is a nice entertaining one for me. If your foot's very wobbly, maybe have your hands ready to catch it, or maybe start with a book so you don't injure yourself. You're going to try and get your foot to relax into the block. If it's not used to taking load, it'll find it quite hard. Your knee bends into your chest, and then you're going to press the foot away, straightening the leg out fully. And your ankle will naturally have to adapt its position to keep the foot balanced on it. And if it's not good at that, the block can fall off. Just like that. But put the block back on and try again. Take your time. Notice how my toes all splay away from the block. That is a non-optimal pattern through your foot. You want your foot to press down through the ground. You're doing about 5 of these. I was a little bit slower on that side. Cool, so you're kind of going to come up into sitting. Our next exercise is a bridge. Put the block or your book under your right foot. Bring your hands to your pelvis and just get those bony points on your pelvis level and become aware of that. Push down through the right foot as you lift your hips up off the ground and then fold at the hips to lower back down. The left foot, you can just have the toes on the ground. So we're trying to engage everything on that right lower limb. And then we're trying to keep our pelvis and our spine nice and neutral as we do the movement. You're going for 5 on this leg. And on your last rep, you will hold up for about 3 breath cycles. And as you hold up, just be aware of what's working. Then we'll just move the block over and under our left foot. Feel the foot on the block like you did when it was in the air. Hopefully it's a little bit easier now to be aware of your foot. Check your pelvis is level. Check your ribs are connected in at the front. They're not flaring up towards the sky. And then push through that left foot as you lift your hips and lower your hips. Again, you're going for about 5 reps on this leg. On the last one, you will hold up for about 3 breath cycles. And you will find if there's a leg that's a little bit weaker, like the left one in this video for me, that you'll tend to take a little bit longer doing the reps. And that's worth the time. Give it a chance for the muscles to wake up. Cool, then coming out of your bridge, rolling onto your tummy. You're gonna have your forearms, our hands one on top of the other, shoulder blades slide down your back, and you're gonna bend that right heel in towards your butt, and you're gonna try and keep it in. Then you're going to tighten your right butt cheek and just lift the thigh off the ground just an inch. You're doing 5 reps on this leg, and it's just to wake up your large glute max muscles that I place my hand on there to get some hip extension, which is important for running. Give your leg a wiggle, swap over to the other side, bring the left heel to the bum, tighten the bum muscles and lift the leg as high as you can, keeping your pelvis nice and steady and grounded onto the mat. We want all the movement coming from the hip joint here, and it might be a little bit less if you have a leg that's weaker. Give the legs a shake out, and then we're going to move up into standing. So we've had the feedback of the floor the whole time. Now we're not going to have that, so it'll challenge our balance more. You're going to stand facing the top of your mat, and I'm just going to turn around to face the camera so you can get a better view of my pelvis. You're going to put your right foot on the step. You're going to bring your hands to the bony points at the front of your hips. Now, ideally, we want these to bring them to a position where they are level. So if you picture a laser beam going from hip point to hip point, get that laser beam parallel to the floor. Then you're going to lower the left side of your pelvis slightly to the ground, toes might touch, and then lift it back up. What you should feel working are the muscles around the right side of your pelvis. So if you have your right hand on your hip and your thumb is around the back of your hip pelvis, you should feel the muscles under your thumb working on the right side, the side that's on the block. You're going for 10 reps of these. You can hold up when you get your pelvis level every time and give those muscles a chance to wake up and activate. Then you're going to stay facing the front of your mat, keeping the right leg on the block. I'm just changing so you can get a different view. You're going to stand and balance. You're going to reach the left leg back behind you and land nice and soft and controlled on the ball of the back foot. Tug the right hip back into the hip socket and then bring your torso upright over your pelvis. From here, use the back foot like a spring and come into a single leg stance. We're going to do 5 of these movements, landing softly, tugging the hip back and sorting your body out so it is directly up over your pelvis. And then pushing off into standing, that leg straightens out and pushes you up strong. Landing softly. Bring that torso back so it's directly over your pelvis. Spring off the back foot and come into standing. You should be feeling the muscles around the right hip working to stabilize you in this exercise. Take a little longer in the standing position for 2 or 3 breaths if you can't feel them, and give them a chance to wake up. And then pause on your last one. You're going to stack your body up over that right leg that's supporting you, so your torso's over it. And I'm placing my hands on my head here that you can't see, making sure my gaze is looking straight ahead as well, and my head isn't tilted to one side. Cool, give the legs a shake out, almost there on this circuit. Moving on to the left leg. So again, I might face the camera, I do. So I think I take a little bit longer in this leg, and you should too if you have a leg that doesn't activate as well. So pause more, feel things more, and try and wake up that area that mightn't be so active that you want to support you. We're going for our little hip lowers on the right side. So you're going to lower the right side of your pelvis towards the floor, and then you're going to engage the muscles on the left side of the pelvis butt cheek as you level the pelvis. So you can imagine that laser beam going from hip point to hip point, and you're just trying to lift so that the laser beam is parallel. You're going for 10 reps of these. So allow the right side of the pelvis to drop and then lift it up so they're level. Then staying facing towards the front of your mat, your left foot stays on the block. You're going to press through the left foot, stand tall, bring that torso over your pelvis, and then you're going to bend that right knee and send it back. Landing softly on the ball of your right foot, tug the left hip back into the socket and bring your torso upright over your pelvis. Push off the back foot like a spring, and then push through that leg you're standing on to straighten up and line your body up over that left leg. Send the right leg back, plant on the ball of the foot, bring your torso upright, tug that left hip back, and then push off the back foot like a spring, and you're standing tall, and feel your left glute help you straighten up and stand tall. You're going for 5 of these guys in total. If you want help activating your left butt cheek, keep your left hand on your left butt cheek the whole time. Think about that left butt cheek hugging your hip in. You're not going to let it swing out towards the camera. On your last one, you'll stand and you'll pause. This should be my last one. Cool. Pausing here, push down through the left leg. Check that your hips are facing forward. Check that your torso is facing forward. It's not twisted off to the left or right. And again, you can place your hands on your head and make sure that the weight of your head is not tipped over to the left or the right. Try and get it centered. And then come off and give your feet a shake out, and you're all done.